realistic goals you should set for your business. Man, that shit's fucking stupid. All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, smash all those buttons. If you're listening to this on the podcast app, that shit too. So my content team comes up with all these titles for me, right? And then I can riff off of that. That way we can outsource it. I can just step in front of a camera and start going. And the first one was how to set realistic goals for your business. I don't really like realistic goals. I'm a sick fuck. It's the best way I can put it, to where like I want to be really high up there. I don't know if I want to say I want to be a billionaire. It's probably just a complex I have. I'm like, bro, if we could hit $500 million, that'd be dope. All right. But I don't like realistic goals because you never know what can happen. And I'm a big fan of Grant Cardone's 10X rule, to where he's like, bro, 10X whatever you're trying to accomplish and do it that way. So let's say if I go, well, I was trying to do $100,000. Like, well, how can we do $10 million? Like, how can I do $10 million in a year? And then I apply it through that. And then that is, to a lot of people, an unrealistic goal. And then to me, a very realistic goal. But don't ever be realistic. I always, like, if you're an entrepreneur, man, shoot for the stars and dream. And then, like, as far as realistic, that is 100% in the eye of the beholder. It has nothing to do with you. I'd say for your team, like, know what their output can actually be. What have you accomplished? And then have the goal at 80 to 100% of that. Generally, people are never going to be as good as you hire them on. So a realistic goal for your team is, if you were closing 5 deals a month, expect your team with the same amount of resources available to close 3 to 5, not an exact 5 and that one person. So that would be a realistic goal, just in a sales-based position based off of the same variables as far as marketing goes. But for yourself, like, what are some of my goals? Like, my goals, and I talked about this earlier this year, my goal is to hit 15 million. And geez, like, we're nowhere near that. But even the fact that I was dreaming big and I set an unrealistic goal of 15 million, I could reach out to people and be like, hey, this is what I'm trying to accomplish. And I just thought bigger. And I was like, okay, so here's what I want to hit. I talked to my mentors about it. Like, well, you can't hit it because of this, this, and this. If you're going to do it, you need to be spending X amount. And that was realistic. If I really wanted to, like, okay, well, how can I go raise some debt, do all these things to, like, have enough money for all this marketing and everything else? I don't know. I'm just not a fan of unrealistic goals. Like, I don't think they exist. I think you should shoot for the stars and then use, like, the 12-week year of something that is attainable. Like, hey, so I need to take these steps to hit this. And because with goals, it really is just a series of actions over time that are going to get you the result that you want. So, like, what are the series of actions you need to do on a consistent basis that you think will give you the result you want? Do it that way. But as far as people telling you, oh, well, you need to set a realistic goal, those people are just trying to crush your dreams. And that's all I think. Even with my mentors or anything else, no one's ever told me, like, my goals are, well, people have told me my goals are unrealistic. And that's fine. But, like, I'm not here to operate in the realistic world. I'm here to create something really special. Because even, like, right now, if I would have told the people, like, let's say when I was in college that I was going to be where I am right now, they'd be like, bro, that's so unrealistic. So you got to take all that shit with a grain of salt. If anybody is telling you something's unrealistic and they are not, and like, shit, bro, nobody would have thought about Facebook. Like, it's such a hard question, dude. But in all reality, set goals for your team that you know are attainable. Do not set unrealistic expectations for them. But for yourself, I think you should hold yourself to an insanely high standard that is uncomfortable. And, like, we hit some of them, but in all reality, like, we're just pushing to push. And I personally don't hit a lot of my goals because, I mean, I just have, like, 5-year goals. I need to go back on to having, like, a weekly goal, but that's just, like, a series of actions that we need to do. Like, hey, no matter what, I talked about this last week, no matter what, we need to put out 3 offers a day. I guess that's a goal, but that's an action that I think will give me the result I want. But as far as a goal, do not set realistic goals. Shoot for the stars. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit all those fancy buttons. And I'd love to, let's do this. I would love to hear your feedback. Do you believe in realistic goals? Drop a comment below. If you're listening to this on the podcast app, send me a message on Instagram @StratDaddy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.